Good morning, guitar community. I'm Mark Slavik with Haggerty's Music, and I have got to get something off my chest today. I have been on Taylor Guitar Owners Group and multiple other places online, and there are these comments coming out that I'm just like, ah! And so here's the deal. There's a lot of GS Mini versus Grand Theater. A lot of comments on the Grand Theater body. A lot of just stuff going around about it. And I would like to set the record straight. Now, if you've seen my posting on Taylor Guitar Owners Group, you probably just don't even need to watch this. But if you haven't and you're a guitar player and you've had any interest in the Grand Theater or wonder why, keep watching. This is going to take a minute. I have in my hands a GS Mini. And here's one of the comments. Why not just buy a GS Mini? The Grand Theater's too much money for its size. Now, let me just point out that Martin, a 0018 is the exact same cost as a D18. Nobody's having this conversation that because the guitar is smaller it should cost less. In fact, you don't even have that idea in your mind when you look at a 912 Builder's Edition versus a standard 618. Like, the Builder's Edition is more. It's a smaller guitar. So I don't know where this came from. I don't know who first thought, like, well, because it's a similar, smaller size, it should be less money. But that doesn't even play out. One of the things I would like to point out is that people buy, I don't know who, but people buy $350 pairs of blue jeans because they're made in America, which is awesome. Like, support American. That guitar is made in America. It's a GT. It should be more money. This is made in Tecate, Mexico. A beautiful, high-quality, state-of-the-art plant, but it's still made in Mexico. So it's a little bit cheaper, but it's also layered wood back and sides. And that has some drawbacks. So when we're talking about the value, bang for the buck, and the why of the guitar, we have to have the full conversation. I read online, a guy was saying, well, you may as well buy an American Dream for that price. Again, that's a different conversation. The voicing is different. And one of the cool things, as I've been able to sit with Andy Powers and talk to him about his different guitars, what he is able to create, the voicing that he has in his head, the next arrow in your quiver that you can use to create different sounds, like as he's thinking about those, he shapes the sound specifically. An 8017 is not a replacement for a Grand Theater. It's not a replacement for a 618. It's not a replacement for a 912. These models don't just exist for something different to look at, but they're a different voice. So I want to talk about the voicing of a GS Mini versus a Grand Theater, why it exists, why it's amazing, why the sound can help you create something different in the right environment. Now, I own a GS Mini, and I barely play it because the neck is a little bit thin for my hands. I'm not an overly big guy. I think I'm like 5'11", maybe if I'm being optimistic. And it just feels cramped, but it's a great it fits on an overhead compartment of planes leaving Rapid City, which aren't all that big. And so it's great. I take this guitar on vacation. I don't really worry too much about it. But let's listen to it. I mean, if you're sitting on the beach, that is wonderful, and I can tell you everybody coming by is going to smile because you're playing a guitar. And if it's the only guitar that's around you, or maybe if you're a smaller individual where this just really fits, these are amazing guitars. I love the GS Mini, and a lot of smaller statured customers, or even people who have arthritis in their hands and they need something that's just a little bit easier to play, these a lot of times fit the bill and they sound great. But the Grand Theater, now if you're listening on your phone, this might not come through, so do yourself a favor, get in front of some good monitors, maybe some good headphones. This is an all real wood back and sides guitar, right? So you've got solid urban ash, solid Sitka spruce top, as this ages over time, it's going to open up more and blossom even more than the GS Mini is. In 10 years, this thing's going to be a powerhouse. But right now, today, listen to this. Man, the difference is huge. And the Grand Theater, the baseboard that's put in, that's a feature that you'd have going all the way back to the 1700s when they're building violins. They have a brace right here, and that it's called the baseboard, which enhances the low end sound, and it's instantly noticeable when you pick up a Grand Theater. For the size, it's just a little bit bigger than the GS Mini, but it translates into a lot bigger sound. And I've done a comparison back and forth between a grand concert and a Grand Theater. In fact, that was the first comparison I was really excited to do, because the Grand Concert is an amazing guitar. It was developed so that every string has the same volume. So a fingerstyle player is really going to benefit from just being able to get all the voicings out, make the entire piece noticeable. And it's also a very compact, great guitar to play. But with the Grand Theater, Andy Powers wanted to come up with this maybe parlor scale and make it very easy to play, but really full of sound. And when you just strum an E on a Grand Concert 812, and then you do the exact same thing on the 811, the bass, the fullness of that Grand Theater body is just boom. So the same people in the same factory that are making a 912 Builder's Edition for over $5,000 and who are building $10,000 customs are building that Grand Theater. Why is it that price? Only $1,500? Because it's handmade in America by artisans, all real wood, sounds amazing. It is not a downplayed cheap guitar. It is a real handcrafted piece. And look at this Grand Theater. This thing is incredible. It's a Koa K21. Now I have other K series in my shop, and when I look at this and I play it and I see the wood, the craftsmanship, I was looking at this earlier, looking at how the nut goes into the ebony, into the wood, and it's just the most beautiful details. Grover tuners, I love these 510s, antiqued, bound just the same inlay, absolutely gorgeous. This shouldn't be less money. This shouldn't be the price of a GS Mini. This is a real guitar, and it sounds incredible. I don't have time. It just keeps going. So, do yourself a favor. Take everything that the entire internet has said, these things that are going out there, just throw it out the window. Get into a shop, play it yourself with an open mind, it has a really great place. The neck's a tad bit bigger than the GS Mini. It's very comfortable to play, but yet it's compact. It's an amazing guitar. And if you have a smaller statured person who's looking for an amazing American-made guitar, who wants big sound, it's incredible. And not even to mention the new case that it's coming in. Those gig bags, they're probably my favorite case. In fact, even over the regular hard cases, it would not hurt my feelings if that was the main bag from now on. And it's a $200 bag. They're really cool. So get in there, play it yourself. I just had to get that off my chest. It's not a one or the other. They both have their place, but they're fantastic, expressive guitars, and we couldn't be happier to have them in our shop.